All right, guys, welcome back to another Yospill video. Tonight we are going to start working on the car that everyone's been asking about, and that is the DA. So our plans for tonight is to get a 1.5 gallon fuel cell over here in the corner. We are going to run fuel lines all the way around the front, AN8, to a filter and a pump, from the pump to the fuel rail, from the fuel rail to a regulator, from the regulator back to the tank. So, like I mentioned in the video before, I have been working on this on the side, and I've only been working on the wiring. Well, 90% of our fuel fittings finally came in, so we can actually get to making the proper fuel system for this car. So when we want to run methanol-based gas, ethanol-based gas, leaded race gas, or whatever we want to put in the B series that's in here, we can actually do that now. We don't have to rely on what was the stock fuel system. If you guys didn't know, or I never explained to you before, the car was on a factory tank with a 255 pump, no relay, no nothing, just as it comes from Honda, which is a little bit upgraded pump, and the fuel pressure was turned up really high, and we were actually running only 440cc injectors for the Honda Build Challenge, and I actually stayed with it. I never changed the injectors out. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna put a much larger pump, a much more flowing fuel system, a lot less fuel system. For one, it saves weight. For two, this car isn't going to be driving very far. It's already a death trap, so there's no need for us to have a full fuel tank and everything like that when we're not going to drive it that far. So let's get into it. Hope you guys enjoy, and VACA's back. All right, guys, so we got the front bumper and the hood off the DA, and as you can see right here, this is our new race cell. It is down here in the driver's side front fender. I cut out this hole just so we can get to the cap, open it up, shut it. This is actually the return right here. This is our feed. Our feed is going to have a 90 off. You're going to see this in the time lapse. It's going to go over here to the pre-filter. This is a K-Tune pre-filter. This is an Aeromotive pump. This is the nice little bracket that comes with it. So it'll be mounted right up here in the front. You guys won't even see it once the bumper is on, is the goal, so that you can't see any of this. And as I was just showing in the time lapse, you see 8 AN straight fitting and an 8 AN 90-degree turn. And then the hose I just cut with the nice little Harbor Freight grinder over there. So now we're gonna get back onto a time lapse and show you actually putting the fittings on the hoses. All right, guys, so after that time lapse, we have feed from gas tank to filter to pump. All of this stuff is real loose, just in case I have to modify anything. This is the fitting right here that we actually don't have. This is just a like fitting that you screw into a block. So I just have it loosely screwed into the back of the pump. This is an AN10, basically like a non-banjo or whatever you call it, to a AN8. So there's no O-ring or anything on this one. As you see, it needs to have an O-ring to butt up to here. so we have a good seal. So we're just using this one temporarily so we can get good measurements for the lines. And then once we get the fitting in, we can actually finish all of this. But you can see it fits in there perfect. It's just a little loose. So now we're gonna get the line from out of the fuel pump up here, run all the way over. I also mounted up the intake manifold with 2 screws and the fuel rail with 2 screws. And here's our AN8 in, here's our AN8 out, and then we'll work on the regulator next. But this next line is gonna be from pump to fuel rail. And as you see, we're getting some good progress with the DA. The VACA update. You got that feed to the pump, well, to the filter, then to the pump. You got that line from the pump to the rail. And I was just working on the regulator. I'm gonna mount it right here where the old hood exit used to go. So I can literally take this hood right here that has the little hole. I can put a little cover on it, and I can leave a little bolt hole right here just so I can have access to this. Even though when we're on the dyno or anything, we won't really need access to it. We'll have the hood open, but at least this will have something to cover. It'll just cover up the fuel pressure regulator. The hole kind of lines up right about here. So that'll be a good thing. And I was trying to mount it here and here and here, but if you mount it right here, this line has such a bad bend that you can't get it to go here. And if you actually take this regulator and put it on the rail like you see on a lot of Hondas, it actually hits the frame of the car. And I don't want this thing, you know, vibrating against there. So literally right now I could just bend it out like this. Has plenty of play, fitting come off easy. The return is right here. It's gonna go right here to this thing, so I can still have access to my cap. And if you guys are wondering, you can just do this, pop this off, pull the cap out through here. So we still have room to get to our actual gas tank. We don't have to worry about that. But get back to making these AN lines. These things are not fun. If you guys haven't noticed in the time lapse, these AN lines are kind of a pain in the butt to make. They have this like coating on them that keeps them from getting damaged while if they rub on anything. And this is gonna be good because this is gonna stay inside the front bumper, so you guys won't even see this in the bumper at all. This isn't even tight, so it still has some movement to it. But I'm gonna leave a little bit of slack in all the lines, so if I ever need to move anything or do anything like that, I won't have to worry about redoing all the lines. There'll just be a little extra play in them. Besides, this return right here has to be a pretty tight turn, but as long as I can get my hand in here, I will be good. And if you guys are wondering about this nipple, this will be for the feed for the nitrous. When I'm not now on nitrous, I'll just block it off. Direct port nitrous kit is still on there, even for mock-up. So back to making these AN lines. Yeah, this is a tiring job. The next line is done. Now let's get to making the last line, which is the return from the bottom of the regulator back to the fuel tank. Whew. You guys just don't understand how much of a pain it is to make these lines. It's literally this coating that takes forever to get off. And my brother was out here working on his IROC RT Daytona, and I don't know what I did with my smaller screwdriver. I had a screwdriver that had a really small bent end on it, which helped a lot to get that coating off. And I don't know where it went, but we only got one left to make, so this shouldn't take too much longer. And just like that, we have a complete fuel system for the VACA. So as you can see, all the wiring is right here. I ran the headlight harnesses up here and pulled out all the wires that are not needed to run the car. Here's the engine harness that will feed the harness for the car. Here's the headlight harnesses for those. I ran the fuel line right here, which will go in between where the radiator usually sits. If I need to, I can just cut it and move it up here. I have plenty of slack. The intake manifold is just there for mock-up. If you guys haven't been keeping up with the VACA, I know I haven't posted in a while about her. This is a Edelbrock Victor X that I ported to 75 millimeter, I believe, 74 millimeter. This is the biggest OEM style throttle body you can buy for a B series, H series, D series, F series, whatever you want to consider it. Everything's really dirty, so before I actually start this car or anything, I'm going to go through and clean everything up, clean everything out. I'll probably paint the starter, paint everything, make it look nice and clean. But with what we have done tonight, I can actually get back to wiring the car. I need to finish the engine harness, and then I can run all the fuel stuff, relay everything. I am actually personally going to run it off the OEM switch and just relay it at the pump, because I feel like you should be able to plug your key in, turn your key, and start the car. If we go inside of the car right now, or if any of you have never watched any of the videos, the car is really cut up. These windows are glass right now. I do have the Lexan windows for them. All of this is YNS Lexan. Here's all of the stickers. My little drag wing I built. You can go back and look in the videos. Sunroof delete. The one Kirky racing seat. A cut up car. And here is what I have to do next. Here's the fuse box. And there is all of the wiring that is not needed to run the car. This right here is for the fuse box and stuff. But all of this stuff, I'm going to actually pull all of the wiring apart and go back through and pull out all of the not needed wires, just to clean up the car a little bit. It is a process, so it does take a long time, and it is very, very boring. Like, it is probably one of the most boring things to do. I understand why people hate wiring. So the factory fuel wires are right here, because in the DA, it actually all comes right here through the floor. So what I'm gonna do is unclip it right here at this plug, pull all of this wiring and go back to the front of the car with it. Probably run it inside the fender well or something, so you guys don't see it or anything, and then relay it, do everything I need to do, pull source from the battery. Battery's all the way over here, but I can run wires through the front here, you know, hard power to here, make sure everything is right. Here's your bumper lights and your headlights. So the car will have headlights and taillights. All the wiring for that will be there. I do not plan on deleting any of that. It will have a working fan and everything, so I can actually set and let the car idle. It is a lightweight car. I do plan on maybe cutting the floor a little more. Not really too sure yet. Another thing I haven't shown that I did, this is a non-ABS four-wheel disc car. The front brakes on the DA are very good. If you go back and watch one of the old videos, it has brand new brakes on it. If you see how hard it is to turn the wheel, That's not because of the brakes. The brakes are brand new. That is because of the phantom grip that I put in the transmission. This thing, when you turn one axle, it turns both axles. They turn together. So yeah, that's gonna be it. Oh, what else I changed? I did the rear brake delete. So the rear brake lines are actually inside the car on the DA. They come through right here. So all I did was go to Discount Auto Parts, and you can get these little fittings right here for about $4, I believe, or $8 for the both of them. And you can run the brake lines straight from here to each front wheel. And then in the future, we'll use a hydro and connect it back to the original rear brake lines and use the rear brake as a hydro and race car stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know how long it is at this point. It's probably, you know, 15 minutes long of just straight fuel stuff for VACA. I hope you guys are glad she's back. I'm gonna throw the hood and the bumper back on it, put her back on the ground, and yeah, a lot of wiring. I gotta get to wiring and cleaning everything out from the trip from Florida to Pennsylvania. So hope you guys enjoyed. As always, like, comment, subscribe, do everything for YouTube. Share it with your friends, man. I'm trying to get the YoSpilt page on Facebook to 10,000, and we're trying to get the YoSpilt YouTube to at least 5,000 by mid-year. The goal is maybe 10,000 by the end of the year. It all depends on how the growth going, how the COVID-19 goes. If we can get to the track or anything this year, get to the dyno. Yeah, it's kind of slowing everything down. A lot of the YouTubers are running out of things to do. We have our cars to build, but we have nowhere to go with them. So unless we can rent a track by ourselves, it's kind of hard to actually take these cars anywhere. So like I was saying, end rant, fuel system is done. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, you guys are the greatest.